The autumn of 1935. New York City, a metropolis of steel and ambition, a place where fortunes were made and lost before the ink dried on the morning paper. In the grand hall of the Metropolitan Museum of Art, a collection of unparalleled value was on display. The Sovereign's Tear, a diamond of impossible size and clarity, said to weep a single drop of condensation at the approach of a liar. For 2 weeks, the city's elite had flocked to see it, their whispers and awe echoing in the marble halls. Security was a fortress, guards at every entrance, pressure plates beneath the floor, and the diamond itself resting within a sealed glass case, a monolithic tomb of transparency, its half-inch thick walls impervious to any common smash and grab. And then, on a Tuesday morning, the impossible happened. The glass was not broken. The locks were not picked. The guards had seen nothing, heard nothing. Yet, the velvet pedestal where the Sovereign's Tear once rested was bare. The jewel was gone. The call went out to one man, not a man of the force, but a consultant to whom the force turned when logic had failed them. His name was Silas Blackwood. They called him the Alchemist for his uncanny ability to turn scraps of nothing into the gold of a conviction. Blackwood was a man of quiet observation. He arrived not with a squad of men, but with a pair of leather gloves and an unnerving silence. He dismissed the frantic museum curator, a man named Alistair Finch, whose sweat alone seemed to incriminate him. He ignored the blustering police captain. Instead, he simply stood before the empty case, his gaze sweeping over the scene for a full 10 minutes. The police saw a perfect crime. Blackwood saw a story waiting to be read. His first observation was not in the room, but outside it, the weather reports. It had been a dry, clear night. Yet, on the polished floor, 3 feet from the display case, he found a single minuscule smear of damp, salty residue. Too small for a footprint, a drip. His second observation was the air itself. The police smelled nothing but stale perfume and anxiety. Blackwood detected a faint, almost imperceptible scent of ozone, the sharp smell that follows a powerful electrical discharge. His final clue was the most bizarre. On the velvet of the empty pedestal, almost invisible to the naked eye, lay a single, perfectly formed grain of sand. Not the coarse, gray sand of the city's construction sites, but a fine, white grain, the kind found on tropical beaches. The police were chasing phantoms, interviewing disgruntled guards and known cat burglars. Blackwood was chasing a ghost of a different sort, a ghost made of science. He did not speak his theory aloud. He simply made 2 quiet requests. The first was for the city's geological survey maps, specifically those detailing the composition of the bedrock beneath Manhattan. The second, a list of all industrial laboratories that had recently purchased high-frequency sonic oscillators. The police captain scoffed. The curator wrung his hands, but Blackwood waited. The answer came 2 days later. A lab in the meatpacking district, owned by a reclusive and disgraced physicist, had taken delivery of such a device a month prior. The man, a Dr. Elias Torn, had been dismissed from Columbia University for his radical theories on harmonic resonance. Blackwood arrived at the lab alone.
He found Dr. Thorne, a man as thin and brittle as a dead leaf, surrounded by humming machinery. And in a lead-lined box, he found the Sovereign's Tear. There was no chase, no struggle, only a quiet confession. Thorne, a genius in acoustics, had discovered the precise resonant frequency of the display case. From a rented room in a hotel across the street, he had aimed a focused beam of high-frequency sound. It was not a battering ram, but a whisper, a vibration so perfectly tuned that it caused the molecular structure of the glass to fail in one specific spot, creating a temporary, localized disintegration, a hole just large enough for the diamond to be plucked out with a magnetized rod. The process had taken 3 hours, and the hole had re-solidified moments after the beam was shut off, leaving the glass seemingly untouched. The ozone was a byproduct of the energy required. The salty drip on the floor was from the condensation on a glass of water, shaken from the table in Thorne's hotel room by the subharmonic vibrations. And the grain of sand? A final arrogant flourish. Thorne had used a small bag of imported white sand to steady his device, and a single grain had clung to the magnetized rod. It was his signature on a masterpiece of a crime. He had not done it for money. He had done it to prove his theories were right, to mock the establishment that had cast him out. As Silas Blackwood left the lab, the diamond safe in his coat, he looked up at the towers of New York. The city was a monument to the visible, to the tangible. But as always, the greatest secrets and the greatest crimes were hidden in the frequencies no one else could hear.